in grad school, I used to have a joke with a bunch of my buddies, and it used to go something like this. I used to tell them, look, numbers don't lie, only people do. And so I've used that for almost my entire career. And part of the thing that you have to look at is you have to do your analysis. It means you've really got to look at the numbers that are being presented to you from other sellers, from the brokers, and then use your judgment. Use the things that you know to determine whether those numbers are accurate. And if they're not accurate, then the next thing you have to do is take a look at your numbers, because you can lie to yourself as well. You can make these assumptions that may not be accurate, and so you need to be looking at the assumptions that you're creating, but also look at the assumptions that you're being told and determine whether those assumptions make sense in your model. Otherwise, the numbers aren't lying to you, but you could be lying to yourself, or someone who's provided you these numbers could be lying to you. So you really have to dig into the numbers, really understand the analysis. The next thing you have to do is, when you're doing your negotiation on your letter of intent and your purchase and sale agreement, make sure you are putting everything in place. Make sure you're understanding your due diligence dates. Make sure that there's nothing that you can get caught on, because again, there might be something that someone is trying to put in there, and the numbers on the piece of paper may tell you one thing, but there could be a line in there that says, okay, we need to do this within 45 days, we need to do this within 30 days, and if you haven't met that criteria, your deposit could go hard, or some other thing could get triggered. So you really do have to look at everything on the LOI and the purchase and sale agreement. The next thing you want to look at is the historical numbers. And the historical numbers are really important, because one of the things that you get is you get an understanding of how the property has operated in the past. So those numbers actually tell a very good story. And in the package, in the purchase and sale, you could have people telling you that, well, the property hasn't been performing because of management, because of this, because of the accounting, because of something else. But if you look at the historical numbers, usually that's a great baseline. And then you really only have to look at some of the variable factors that could change when you take over, such as property taxes, insurance, maybe even management. And then you need to make that determination about whether you can actually add the value that someone else is telling you you can add. Don't always believe a value add is a true value add. You really do have to look at those historical numbers and then make that judgment. So it all kind of builds on each other, but the fact of the matter is that the numbers don't lie, the numbers tell the story, and the only thing that lies in the situation are usually people, either trying to get a better price, trying to sell you on the upside or the blue sky, or the numbers in the contracts where someone may be trying to get something out of you. Either something happens faster, or you could lose your deposit, or some other item, or maybe even kickers, or other things that could increase the purchase price. And so you do have to be careful with the numbers. You have to make sure you understand what you're doing, and then make sure that you stick to your guns, because the last thing you want to do is make a silly mistake off of something that could have been corrected very early on. So on that note, I hope this video helped you, and I hope it helps you think a little bit about the numbers in the deal, not just the financial figures, not just the operating statements, but also the timelines in a contract or an LOI, so that you can make the best decision for you and for your investor team on acquiring a new asset. On that note, I will look forward to seeing you on the next video, and let's continue growing our passive cash flow and net worth together.